Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to create spare strings for an 80-pound pistol cobra crossbow. As you can see, I'm not actually using my string on an 80-pound pistol cobra crossbow because I actually took the prod off my old crossbow and put it on this new homemade one that's got a repeating bolt magazine. If you haven't already seen the video, I've got a tutorial and a shooting video up on my channel. The links will be in the description down below. If you find yourself shooting a cobra pistol crossbow a lot, you'll find that over time the strings start to wear out and break. This was the one that came with it, and pretty much as soon as I installed it into this crossbow, it broke because it wasn't waxed, and also it just couldn't deal with the heavier draw weight and also the abrasion from the aluminium. Strings will normally last quite a long time on the regular cobra pistol crossbow, but they never last forever, and it comes to a time when you need to replace them. So instead of ordering a new one from eBay, you can actually very easily make your own. The method which I'm going to be using to do this is called the continuous loop method, and you may have seen it before, and basically it's just using one continuous bit of string going round and round and round and round, and it's then all held together by all of this different wrapping. This string which I've made is incredibly strong, and it's lasted probably almost 1,000 shots now, and it's not showing any signs of wear. But I'm going to create a backup string, partly for this tutorial and partly so that when this one does run out, I've got a spare. So this method will also work with a more powerful 150-pound crossbow or a very powerful bow, but you will need to use more layers of string. So this is going to be the cord which I'm using today. This is actually some nylon kite line, which has got really high breaking strength, but you can also use fishing line, and I think Kevlar fishing line is the best since it's incredibly strong. As you can see, I've also made this wooden jig here, and basically the way that it works is I've just got these two nails, hammered them in at the right distance, so it's just long enough for this crossbow string here, and this is the original that I'm making it from. If you don't have an original, you can also just measure how long they're meant to be and then do this. And then I've also got two nails measured a couple of inches further along that I'll tie string to later. So now it's time to start actually making this, and all that I've got to do first is just tie my cord to the further away of one of these two nails. You can start it on either side, it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to take it very tightly and wrap it around the back of this closer nail here, not the furthest one, but this closer nail here. Bring it back and continue to wrap it between the layers like this. As you can see, each time I'm bringing it over and round this closer nail here. Don't use these further nails yet. So what I've done now is I've wrapped it around all of this, and it's actually gone around 8 times. So it's got 8 layers on this side and 8 layers on this side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it all the way to the end here, and then I'm going to tie it off around this nail, making sure to keep it nice and tight. So what I've done now is I've got a ruler and I've measured to the middle and then drawn a line, and then I'm just going to measure either side of that. So I'm probably going to want to take it a couple of centimeters either side, so I'm going to say 4 centimeters either side. So I'm going to make a mark here and one here. So these marks are basically going to be where I'm wrapping this string around as sort of a protective coating, and that's going to basically hold all of these layers together. What some people would do is they'd wax the string at this stage, and you can do that, there's nothing wrong with it, but make sure you don't use a wax like candle wax, since that just sort of lubricates up the strings and means that this might fall apart. You should use something like beeswax, which is sticky, or resin for like a bow, which will help keep everything closer together. So the way that I'm going to do this wrapping is I'm basically going to take this piece of cord, which is the same cord that I used on here, and then I'm going to lay it on just at the mark so that it reaches about 3/4 of the way to the other mark. Then I'm going to take it and wrap it around, and I'm only doing one of these two halves. So as you can see, this is divided into 2 different halves, and I'm only going to do this half first and then this half afterwards, and you'll see why I do that a little bit later. I'm just going to continue to wrap and make sure that I'm pulling it really tight and going over that old piece of string. So I'm quite close to the end now, and when you get close to the end, basically just take a loop of the normal string that you were using before, and I'm just gonna hold this tight still because I don't want it to unravel, and then place the loop over the top like that, and just continue to wrap over the top of the loop. And you probably want to do about 5 or 10 wraps over the top of the loop before you can finish. Now I've done that, I can then straighten out the loop and then take the string that I was wrapping and put it through the loop like this. Then pull that like that. Then I can hold onto the string still so it doesn't come undone, but then take the loop and pull it, and it slowly pulls tight, and then just pull it quite hard. Just hold on to this. Keep on pulling. And there you go, as you can see it's came out the other side and made this loop like this. I can then take my knife and cut through that loop, so get rid of this. Once that's done, and then this end which is still poking out, I can just pull back through like that. And now I've made basically this protective coating around the string here. Now all I've got to do is duplicate that on the other side like this. So now I've done the other side and they're both pretty much identical. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and cut off this extra strand. It was the knot, and as you can see it comes out to this part here. What I'm now going to do is tie it in a knot and then carry on. Then once I've tied the knot, I then take my knife and just cut it off about here. Do the same on the other side. So now it's not attached to either of the extra long ones, so now I can take it and I can start to spin it around like this. Be careful not to let any of it pop off like I just did. So now I've spun it round so that the threaded protected area with the wrapping around it is now over both ends of these nails. It's not quite even, as there's more on this side than there is on this side, and it's the same on this one, but it doesn't really matter, it'll still serve the same purpose. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all of these strands together like this, and then I'm going to do the wrapping that I did up here, but exactly the same across all of these strands for probably about 8 centimeters again. So now I've got this sort of center wrap in the middle, which is protecting the middle part, which is going to be hitting the crossbow bolts and the levers, which pull back the string. So now I'm going to be taking more string and then binding these two parts together, which is then going to form the loops, which is going to go over the nocks on the end of the crossbow prod. Again, this is going to be done in the exact same method as last time, and I'm going to wrap it probably to about here. So this is what it looks like once I do it on the first side, and once I've done it on this side, all I've got to do is then do it on the other side, and then the crossbow string is done. So I've now wrapped both ends and the bowstring's actually completely finished. Can now just pop it off both of these nails, and this is it, it's ready to use. This project probably only took me about 15-20 minutes to do, and once you start getting really good at it, you can do it even quicker than that. This isn't the most perfect bowstring, and it probably won't last as long as the commercially available ones, but it is much better and much more cost effective than having to go and buy one from eBay and from an archery store, and it's ready pretty much instantaneously. This isn't the only method of making a bowstring, and it's definitely not the best method. This is just the method that I've kind of figured out and gathered from other tutorials. So now I've got a second spare bowstring for when this one breaks, but so far this one doesn't look like it's going to give up anytime soon, because I've fired over 1,000 shots with it now probably, and it's still pretty much in mint condition. Because what I did was I put a little bit of candle wax on the inside of the barrel here, and that's really reduced the friction on the string. For this crossbow, I'm going to be upgrading it sometime soon, so say in the comment section down below what upgrades you think this crossbow needs. Definitely going to replace these elastic bands with some springs, probably from the inside of a pen or something like that. And I'm going to think about adding maybe a tactical light attachment and also maybe a laser pointer. Say what else you think I should do in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please hit the like button down below and subscribe. If you did enjoy my video, you might like some of my others, and you can see previews of them here. If you want to find out the full videos, then go to my channel and check them out.